What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC, your one-stop shop for everything Juventus. It is match day, and it's a massive one, a massive clash for top four between Bologna and Juventus. And for the Star Wars fans out there, it's May the 4th. Oh yeah, I was giving Sev a hard time there. You know what? Never seen a single one myself. Never seen a single one.
Oh my God.
I can't do it, man.
Disgusting.
Never got into it. Yeah. I don't know. I was into chicks. Anyways,
you live with yourself.
We got a big game here today. All right. We're going to have a lot of fun. There's some news around Juventus. As always, we're going to have a good time and tackle everything in the build up to this one. Tudor's, his match day selections. We're going to have a lot of good times here today. And I got Trim. I got Sev with me. Fellas, how you doing? Trim, what's going on, brother?
Oh, not much. I'm actually really looking forward to this game today. I know, I know some of the fan base is definitely a little skeptical, or there's not as much optimism going into today's match. But hey, like we always say, we got to take care of business. So if we take care of our games, win our matches, we don't have to worry about the standings. So
there we
let's
go.
See what our boys can bring today.
Our fate is in our own hands. Good thing or not, I don't know, but we'll find out. And go Leafs, go! Hell yeah, go Leafs, go! Come on, come on!
Oh yeah.
What's up, everybody? You see Alex, Juve, RB Comp, Sal, Mitch, all in here. Let's go, fellas. And Sev, how you doing today, brother?
I feel a lot better. I just made a quick phone call to my long-distance cousin, the current coach of the Bologna team, my supposed doppelganger.
It is.
And he said he's going to take it easy on us today. So I feel a little bit better.
Oh, man. Mr. Italiano. Sev's, other alias here is going to get a beatdown today. Okay? He's going to get a beatdown today. Well, hope so. We're going to have some fun, though. Yeah. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the news, though, in the build-up to this one. We had some contract extensions going down. The first one... I don't even know if he'd even sign it because they'd have to find him first, and that's Milik. But Milik was renewed, obviously extending the salary and everything. Guys, just cut the cord. Cut the bloody cord. Today, albeit it was Gazzetta, but Gazzetta was reporting that he could be loaned next year to find fitness and form. The dude is 31 years old, okay? Like... What are we doing? Just cut your losses, end it. The time, the resources that we're wasting on this is absolutely ridiculous. I say cut the cord. Trim, Seth, what are we doing here?
You want to go first, Trim? Because this is such a nothing burger. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Just let this go.
Yeah, let him go. Like,
pull the scab.
Injuries are what they are. Like, I know it. It's a unfortunate thing for him to get hurt during that Euro. But like, I think for me, it's I know you touched on it once, Berto. The injury recovery, not getting surgery when he was supposed to. Like, it's basically like Pogba 2.0 with that whole saga, right? So it's like after that, you gotta let him go. I don't know if they can terminate the contract or what, but I'm sure they're gonna look into that this summer. There's no way. Like, I don't know. I can't see them. Like, they extend them and then what?
It's it's 4 something million, like, gross, like all in, that they split over 2 years. Like, even if you're trying to get a loan, you're trying to get somebody to pick them up for something, like, just end the bloody thing. Yeah. Like, you're spending time and energy on stuff that doesn't matter. It's over. Just get rid of it. Just end it. End it. Yeah. We've terminated others that maybe shouldn't have been terminated, and now you're humming and hawing over this thing. It's wild to me. I just say, like, cut the cord. Cut the damn cord, okay? But again, it may not go down because they'd have to find him in the friggin' Bermuda Triangle to even get him to sign the papers. So we'll pump the brakes on that one. Gatti gets renewed. So he was already contracted for like till 2028, I believe, before this one takes him to 2030. He's got 1 year option on top of it, according to Nico Schira, and it's going to be now somewhere around 3 mil that he should get a season, or actually just slightly over 2 mil. I believe it's slightly over 2 mil for Gatti. It was McKennie that we'll get to that's got his around 3, but Gatti should be somewhere around the 2 million mark. I have no problems with the Gatti contract extension. There's some that are, making more out of it than it needs to be. But for me, Gatti, that's a no-brainer. We could have even left it alone. But the thing is, he probably should have got a little bit slight increase in pay. He does have teams interested. This is fine. There's no issues here. Because if a team's interested for him and we do decide we want to sell him, it doesn't affect anything. The numbers are still there in play. He gets a pay hike and we just add on years so that annually it essentially doesn't change anything for us with Gatti. So you have a player that's happy. He wants to stay at Juventus. You've got him extended on years and bumped his pay so that he'll be happy. And it's all good. I have absolutely no issues with the Gatti extension. Sev?
None whatsoever. I think you just nailed it. The only thing I'll add on top of that is that when you have a guy like him who shows that fire, that actual want to be here and fight for the shirt, and which is such at a minimal right now with this club. I mean, it's such a, like you said, like it's such a perfect scenario that Giuntoli set up with him. Financially, I just wish we can get him back on the pitch right now. But other than that, like, I have no issue with it whatsoever. Yeah. And he shows that fire that we need. We need that right now in this club.
I think he's just been, and I mean, since he's been gone, I'd say he's been missed a bit. I've missed him in the lineup since he's been out this past little bit. There are some updates with him today that we'll get to in terms of the fitness. But Trim, the extension on Gatti, thoughts?
Yeah, like I have no issue with it either, because I think the biggest thing is I don't think we're relying on him as much as maybe some fans are, not hemming and hawing about it, but they're just like, yeah, like I can understand the, not an everyday starter, but I mean, when he was in there, I know you mentioned this previously, when he was in there with Bremer, they were quite the duo. They were playing well. So, I mean, like, I think a lot of that too has to be accounted for, right? So it's certain situations, it's if Bremer's back and healthy, he obviously makes a huge difference. But that being said, we're not going to sugarcoat the player that Gatti is. Like, he's a rotational piece in a strong starting 11 squad, which we don't have strong starting 11 squad players right now in all areas of the pitch. But with him and Bremer, they formed a good, solid duo. So I don't have an issue with it. And the resale potential down the road, because like you said, there's teams interested, it just further solidifies our kind of stance in that. So
this is the main reason why I like it, is the fact that this guy wants Juve. He wants to stay at Juve.
Yeah.
If he's a fifth option and he's happy to do it, I actually do feel he would be happy to do that, to remain at Juventus. And that's the kind of depth we need to look for. Not the guys that are always going to piss moan over everything. They're going to, oh yeah, you know what, not getting minutes, I want to bolt. No, I'd be more than happy to be pulling a Gatti off the bench for a Juventus that gets stronger, say, next season through this summer. Like, that's our goal. Our goal is to get stronger every year. But I'm more than happy to have that guy on the bench ready to come out. After what I've seen this season, there's been a good, healthy increase and improvement in Gatti. And I'll fight that to the death if anybody wants to argue that he hasn't improved since the first time we saw Gatti. There has been solid improvement. Is he still perfect? Is he? Absolutely not. But I'd be more than happy to have that guy coming off the bench. Rugani is brought up by Alex. You saying Rugani better than Gatti. We still have a year on Rugani. Why not bring him back? Why not bring him back? Buy one center back. Kalulu is more of a fullback in my mind. I'd bring Rugani back. I don't think we should have loaned him out in the first place. Those guys coming off the bench is great. I have no problems with that. Give me Rugani. Give me Gatti off the bench. Absolutely no issues. But we need to also think about those guys, because it can't just be all a roster of 1As. Like, we're still trying to lock in the 1As, and Gatti may find himself on the fringe of a 1A right now, or a 1A right now, but that's because of the circumstances. It doesn't mean that he needs to be ruled out and just sent packing, because there are rumors about his potential sale if another team comes in this summer with a price tag around what they did last summer, which is 30 million euros. Hey, we'll wait and see on what the right decision would be at that time, because I'm kind of all over the place. And one of the players that is at the forefront is Cambiasso, and we'll talk about that in a bit. McKennie, the other player to get his contract extension, apparently verbally agreed upon with Juventus to 2028, with him getting $3 million annually. There are some that disagreed with this contract extension, so I want to get your guys' thoughts. We'll start with Trim on this one. What do you think about the McKennie one?
Yeah, with him going back to even when he extended, was it at the beginning of this season or was it last season where he extended originally the first time around? Because this is like his second extension within a couple of seasons, right?
Well, he got 1 year this past one when he decided to stay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that one, I remember I was more like, I'm ready to move on from him. I wasn't really impressed with the last couple of seasons as a whole. Like, he would come in for spot duty and do some good things and some decent things, but I just think overall I was like, I wouldn't mind a change. He came in this season and he's played well. Like, I can't knock him for his consistency. Like, I think consistently he's played pretty well, so I don't mind it as much now, because again, I think that just like with Gatti, what we're mentioning, like, he clearly wants to be here. If he's going to be a rotational piece, then more than fine. And it seems like he's okay with that. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's going to piss and moan about starting. Like, he's good to just come in, do his thing. Like, now, to be fair, he's been starting a lot of matches, and the coaches have been putting a lot of trust in him when it comes to Motta and now Tudor. But that being said, if we have a change in philosophy this summer, if we have a change of manager this summer, depending on who it is, then, you know, if that coach or that manager sees him more as a rotational piece, I hope he'd be okay with that. And if he is, then again, it's just solid depth, because his fitness is dropping because of the amount of matches that he's been playing. So I don't even know if he can be that consistent starter. I wouldn't want him to, but as a rotational piece, solid in my books.
Yeah. And Sev, your thoughts on McKennie and his extension?
Isn't it funny how, like, at the beginning of the season, this guy wasn't even on, like, the starting squad under Motta? Like, he was, like, one of the ones training, like, with all the dropouts or the kickouts that we were going to do.
Seems
and now,
to do this
look at him.
all the time under every coach.
Yep.
Just finds a way to become almost undeniable.
Yeah. And it's very rare to find a player who could play good at a lot of different positions. So I have no issue with this whatsoever. Super utility guy. Like, you could make this guy a striker if you needed to. I mean, I'm not saying I would, but you could if you really needed to. He's really good on headers and stuff like that, set pieces. Like, I have no issue with re-signing him. Is he a starter on a world-class team? No, he's not. But you're not going to pay him like that. You're getting him at a good price. I have no issue with it.
And McKennie's got an interesting bit coming up in this match we're about to talk about with Bologna today, because it's almost gone to a point where it might be a little bit too much. And we'll talk about that with Tudor and what he's got lined up for Bologna. I got no issues with the McKennie one, but I got to be honest. I'm thinking one of McKennie or Weah as a sale heading into this summer, because the one thing here is Cambiasso. That is also in the news. So we all agree, like, it's not really a big deal. It's not really an issue for Weston McKennie with the contract extension. Again, they're not numbers that are going to break down any future potential moves if we decide to. Obviously, he would have to agree upon the club that comes in as well. But at the same token here, it's like, I could see us moving one of those guys instead. But Cambiasso, apparently, Man City still is interested. The price now, though, is like 40 to 50, somewhere in there, 40 to 45, according to some sources, wherever you're grabbing your news from. It's going to be in that range rather than the 60, 65 we were hearing about in January. And I'm all over the place with this guy because a part of me wants to be like, you know what? I'd rather sell other guys, make up the money, keep them around. But the way he's been playing for so long is just like infuriating. And I'm like, man, give me that capital, that big shot of capital, and let's spread it out over 2 solid pickups or whatnot. And there are some names that intrigue me at fullback as well, but this guy needs to sort it out, and he needs to sort it out fast because we don't have many games remaining. And if he leaves this impression, it's been brutal. It's been brutal for too long. He is miles away from the guy that he was at the start of the season, and it's creating an issue. Like, if you're trying to make a judgment call on this guy, like, is he checked out? Like, I don't know. I can't get a read on this guy anymore. And I don't know what to do. He's 25, going on 26 years old. You know, he's playing at the start of the year, but he's like, he's world class, this, and I'm on the fence. Like, if a strong enough offer is there, yeah, I don't know if 40 does it for me, but 50 might. And I'd push for, obviously, the most we can, but I don't know what to do with this guy.
I have a question, Berto. Not to bring it back to Gatti, but do you think if you just switched out Gatti and Cambiaso, like let's say City came in, Pep came in for Gatti, do you think they would have even agreed on a deal, player to team? I don't think so.
You don't think Gatti would have accepted, you mean?
Right, like Cambiaso right away. He was like, sure, I'll sign with City, no problem.
Yeah,
and I think and you brought this up, Berto, like a few times. That's kind of where he's losing me a little bit. The little loyalty factor. And then throw on the injury, throw on how he's played the last few months. I'm not completely there yet, but I'm still debating on it. I'm on the fence, like you said.
Here's my thing. In going back to that Gatti comment, I think Gatti's quite old school in a sense that there's not many guys like that, where I think he also thinks about his route, his path. And I think like he honestly feels like a certain loyalty to Juventus for picking him up from Frosinone and giving him the opportunity and everything like that. I think he's like an old school in that sense. There's not many guys like that. And Cambiaso, like, yeah, the fact he found an agreement so quick, a couple months after saying Juve's is Real Madrid, it was weird. It was weird to me. I'm like, whoa, he's got an agreement already? Yeah. Like, what? What happened to this whole, I'm flattered, but Juve's my Real Madrid? That was kind of crazy. And then to back it up with some of the worst performances consecutively, and again, this injury thing that they keep going on. Injury. Like, he's not 100%. He's not himself. Like, that injury it wasn't that much, man. Like, I mean, you're blocking a shot. You didn't lock your ankle, and your foot got jarred a bit. I mean, it's been months. And you know what? If it's at that point where he's playing like that, don't play him. Fully recover him. It's been, like, what, a month and a half now? He's been bad. Like, then don't play him and let him fully recover if that's the performances he's going to put out. Because he's playing for a job, essentially. All these players should be playing for a job. It's a hard one to read. Right now, based on the performances down this ever since January, I'm telling you, I'm probably at a point, and this is a guy that I was like at the start of the year, is like, he's one of my favorite players on the team, if not my favorite player. Him and Thuram are like the guys.
Me too.
For me. But I'm ready to sell if that's what we're going to get. It's been so subpar, and it'd be hard to pass up that money in one foul swoop. Trim, what are your thoughts on him, and how do you feel? Like, are you on the fence or are you sell?
Right now, as it stands, I'm definitely more leaning towards sell than I have been at any point with his tenure with Juve. And I think a lot of it has to do with this season. Like, part of me is also like, in thinking about all this and watching the matches, I'm almost wondering like he kind of created his own little sideshow and distraction with all this stuff with City. And
Yep.
I have a big feeling that that's part of the reason why we've seen such inconsistent performances, because it's almost like he's trying to overcompensate to show and prove that, hey, look, City wants me and wanted me in January, and now it's almost like I have to prove that and show that, look, a big club City wants me. And so it's like it's almost like it's getting in his head and in his own way, right? So for me, like, I don't know, I see what he brings. I do believe in the player. I think he's a good player. There's something clearly there. But you mentioned his age, his injury status up and down. I've gotten to the point where, hey, if we have to make a big sale this summer, and like you said, if it's north of 50 million, ideally, once upon a time it was in the 60, 70 million range, I wouldn't even hesitate. That's the big sale I would make. I'm at that point.
Yeah. I mean, and Pino's not mince of words here. He left in January and never returned. He's not far off. And you're right too, Trim, in a sense that it's like he switched. It's like he got this ego all of a sudden from one friggin', and like I said, and the words his agent said after it, seemingly upset with Juventus that the fact that this thing didn't go down always struck a nerve with me. And you know what? If it comes down to it, if the money's right, I won't hesitate to give that agent one of these and say, you know what? We move. Club over players. Any of them. Period. Okay?
100%.
But now, we keep things rolling, all right? As far as targets go, a little bit of change. So this one, it had me laughing, and it's been part of a conversation we've had over the past live couple shows. But Juve keen on signing Franco Mastantuono of River Plate. Well, and fans are like, finally, like a hype target, one of the most exciting in Argentina, 17-year-old, powerful left foot, very technical, solid attacking mid. Yeah, that's great. But we're not the first to notice this guy. Like, everybody else is in on him. He's going to have his pick of the litter. PSG, Barca, Real Madrid even. Yeah. Okay? City. Everybody's in. Everybody's in on him. If we pulled this signing off somehow, some way, I would have to do some type of challenge or something, or some type of dare, because I don't see it happening. And it's not a knock on Juve per se, but it's like we're not close to like a roster that he could choose from that would ease his integration into making a move like that. You know what I mean? If he goes to a team that's more established now and to get trophies, etc., that means that they have enough to pull the weight that they're not banking on him. You know what? If we pull a signing like this, it's going to be like Yildiz times 1,000, because Yildiz was fast-tracked through Primavera, through Next Gen, into the first team, to where right now he's being looked at not sort of like having to be our savior, but there's a lot on his shoulders, right? And this sparks an interesting discussion too about players and age that we kind of get to, but it would make more sense for him to go to one of those more established sides that can ease into that, rather than going somewhere where the weight might be a little bit more based on what we need out of it, right? Those are my thoughts. It's the reality of where we're at, right? And it falls back on our roster that when you look at signings like McKennie, like Gatti for renewals, they're not the problem. The problem is the lack of superstars. You need a few superstars on the team. That's where we're lacking. Because
Juve does, yeah.
Yeah, like, and all these guys, I saw a comment in the chat too about you're not winning Scudetto with McKennie, with Gatti, etc. Was Napoli going to win one with who? Rachmani, Juan Jesus playing the majority of the defense this season? Would you have called that? I mean, there's so much to it. Would you say, like, at the start of the year, oh, they're going to get rid of Cavara in January and they're not going to replace him, but they'll win the Scudetto? I would have said, yeah, hey, you're out of your mind.
McChicken coming in, and look at, he looks like a world beater coming from United.
Exactly. Like, McTominay, like, that was this is the thing, is that there's so much to it. A coach's impact, a coach's influence, stimulus. You got to have a couple guys that could carry the load there, and I'd actually argue that Napoli doesn't really have a superstar. They do not have a superstar in that lineup, and they're still getting it done. This might be Conte's biggest feat ever, in my personal opinion, if he could pull that one off. Nonetheless, for Juve, I think it's important for us to get a couple stars in. Are we going to be able to land them this summer? Are we going to find them? I don't know. And yes, we won with players like, my God, his name comes up too often, but Sabina, Balowin, Giaccherini, Pepe, Simone Pepe, Sturaro, etc. Like, I mean, it is what it is, but we also had stars around them that could carry the load, and we're lacking that. So for Mastantuono, I hate to be the guy, but let's not get too hyped up, okay? But attack targets, okay. 4 new names: Openda, Mikautadze, Boniface, and Calumuendo. All right, so these guys are listed as concrete options, maybe a little bit more realistic than what we've been hearing. And I do have the numbers on these players. We're going to talk a bit about them. I want to see from the live chat what you think about any of them. Do any interest you? Do none of them interest you? Come on, let's hear it. But Openda, 31 appearances, 9 goals, 5 assists in 2,381 minutes played. You've got Boniface, who's got in league 19 appearances, 8 goals, 1 assist in all competitions. 27 appearances, 11 goals, 2 assists. Some of them have been pretty big for Leverkusen, obviously. For Mikautadze, 31 appearances, 10 goals, 6 assists. Very, very strong season for him. All competitions, 42 appearances, 14 goals, 11 assists. As a Georgian international, 37 caps, 20 goals. Calumuendo, 30 appearances, 14 goals, 3 assists, and 2,379 minutes played. Guys, do any of these guys interest you? Is it just a matter of the devil's in the details? Are you fine with these guys? But financially, like, I mean, Mikautadze's guys have been calling for him for a while, and then you have Alex Juve saying not for Juve. And right below it, Tuna, Mikautadze all day, and I've been banging on that drum for 2 seasons. This is what I mean, right? Like, everybody's going to have their picks. I remember last year the amount of times I heard Victor Boniface come up in Storm the Barns or discussions, and I was always like, I'm not so sure. Where are you guys at with these targets? What do you think? Do any entice you? Trim, you want to start it off?
For me, it just really depends on the profile that we're looking at. So, you know, there's so many factors. Like, for example, coach, yes, manager for sure will play a big factor, but it also, like I said, depends on the profile. So, for example, if you wanted, like, for the fans, that there's a lot of fans out there that I know say, just throw the money at Osimhen, as an example. Well, similar profile would be a Boniface. How much would he cost? If he's like a $40 to $50 million player as opposed to 75 release clause for Osimhen, then okay, you get maybe go look after a Boniface. And then pair that with a different profile as our 1B striker, David on a free. I can see that. That makes sense, you know, or, you know, a lesser, like a Lorenzo Luca as an example. But again, like, it depends on the profiles, right? So Mikautadze, I've heard about all the hype. He obviously can score. He's in like a nice number 9 type of player. Openda, when he played against us with RB Leipzig, very noticeable. super fast, but I know we talked about it in the green room. He seems more of like a winger than a nine. So again, it really depends on the kind of profiles we're looking for. But if we're looking for an out and out nine on that list, I would look more at Boniface. But again, it depends on price tag, because at one point he was up there. He was valued at like over 60, I think, in this past summer. I remember we were talking about it. But yeah, so it just depends on that. But who were the other ones? Who were the other three you mentioned? It was Openda, Boniface, Mikau Datse, and
Boniface, Calimundo.
Oh, Calimundo. Yeah, see him. I don't know as much about Calimundo. I know he's a younger guy, French national. He was coached by Motta in the PSG system, I believe it was, or the French youth system. So I don't really know as much about him. But the other three are, names that are known throughout the world. But again, just depends on profile.
And now I'm going to switch the question for you, Sev, because we see the comments coming in from the chat. So I want to ask you, do any of these guys change your mind from one of the names you might have liked out of the previous bunch? Jonathan David, Osimhen, Retegui. There's a lot of shouts in the chat. Retegui, better than all the other by far. So are any of these guys going to change your mind? And what was your mind? What is the best plan of attack to replace Dusan? And we don't really need to replace Milik with anything more than a broomstick for the janitorial closet. But
that's the whole point. Is it one or the other? Like, do we have to choose one from all 8? Are we choosing one from the previous and one with the new batch that we're hearing now? Mikau Datse, I had never seen him before the World Cup last year, and that's the first time I saw him playing, and I liked him a lot. The other one, there's one that gets hurt a lot. I think it's Boniface. Is Boniface gets hurt a lot or injury prone a little bit? Where
Boniface has been, I think, suffering from some injuries.
Yeah. I mean, to piggyback off of Trim, I could actually see that kind of a thing where if we would go after Mikau Datse and then a David, or Mikau Datse and a Retegui or something, or a Luca, that is a little, especially if we're gonna obviously lose, if not obviously, but we might lose Chico, and we probably are gonna lose Colomwani. So what are we doing here, guys? Right? Like, we have to fill those 2 roles and possibly add a third.
For me, it's Jonathan David, Lorenzo Luca, because I think that they'll be fine if you even want to pair them together. No matter who your coaches are, I think those guys would work. The other thing is Retegui for me, it really depends on the details. At 50, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, it's because of where he is. I don't know if
I'm ready to splash 50. And again, we're just talking about these 4 names that have been added to the list. We don't know the details. We don't know the numbers. So you would just have to wait and see, because maybe that changes things. But for Boniface, I was always on the fence, and he ain't really doing it for me. Openda, I see him more as a winger and could be an option to help the attack, but I'm not going to go crazy over. Calimundo, unsure. Mikau would be the name out of those 4 that I would consider should be in the mix. And that's where I'm going to leave it. And we'll just kind of keep things rolling. But Retegui really depends on the money, everybody. And the money, money's going to be on the line with top 4. We got to take care of business, all right? We are going to talk Bologna, Juventus. But we got to go back in time, all right? We got to go back in time and take a look at some. We're going to try and manifest some good vibes around this fixture. May 10th, 1998. Serie A round 33. All right, so very, very close to when we are meeting them here. Different things at stake, obviously, because back then, this was one that could seal the Scudetto for Juventus. Today, important implications, but for a completely different matter. Top 4 Champions League, all right? So drastic change in where the squads were. But, man, first off, 1998. So we had moved here to the West Coast where we're living. We've been here for about 6 years. Played a hell of a lot of street hockey. But some of the hit songs around 98. Iris by Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh yeah, love it.
Ghetto
Great song.
Superstar by Pras.
Yes.
Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys.
Oof.
Fastball the Way, man, that song used to drive me nuts. Played everywhere. It sucked. Lauryn Hill with Doo Wop, that thing.
Yeah.
Hard Knock Life, Jay-Z. Oh. Sev's favorite, personal favorite, Believe by Cher. That was out in 98 as well. You might still catch him, at work,
shoot me
cruising
now.
in the truck there.
Yeah.
Rosa Parks by Outkast. Whew. All right,
yeah.
so we're taking you back to I'm trying to get you all back into 1998. And I know that there's some that probably like, no, it ain't gonna work. But for some of us, yeah, we're old enough. We could go back to 1998 and this matchup. So Juve entered this again, leading the table with 70 points, 4 ahead of Inter. Victory would secure 25th Scudetto. Bologna at the time, managed by Renzo Olivieri, they were vying for a European competition spot as well. Bologna took the lead in the 11th minute. This was, of course, at our previous stadium, Stadio delle Alpi. 22nd minute, Juve equalized with Inzaghi. Second half, Inzaghi nets again. And then Bologna equalizes, but Inzaghi wraps up the hat trick. All right? Wraps up the third to win it. And that actual equalizer, and it also gave us a fantastic picture, but it was scored by none other than Roberto Baggio for Bologna at the time. Look at these beauties. Look at these beauties.
Sick.
That's crazy.
After the game there, okay? But the victory, of course, clinched Juve's 25th Serie A title. Inzaghi's hat-trick was massive. It's remembered as one of the most thrilling encounters between the clubs. And my God, that is, and it is one of my favorite home kits we've ever had. This has got to be, it's definitely in the top 3. It might not be everybody's top, but it's got to be top 3 or top 5. It's just unreal. This particular one, I think I got Zizou on the back. Yep. So nice. I have 3 of these. Davids, Zizou, and Del Piero. But this kit, where does it rank for you in home kits, boys? Is it out of the top 3? Is it top 5? Like, for me, it's one of the top.
In the mid to late 90s, what was cool about those Sony kits is that I thought it was so cool that they put the Juve logo on the sleeve, which they never did.
That's one of the things that I was like, but this kit is so nice that I didn't care about it. In the 96, 97s, they were actually putting them right here, right in the neck, like just subtle.
Yeah.
And it was, and I didn't mind that, but there's some people that have an issue with the club crest being on the sleeve, and they always want it somewhere on the chest, right? Which I get, but this kit, I don't think it affects it because it's so nice.
Well, there was no room to put it because we had so much freaking Scudettis and Copas and all that other Champions League and all that stuff was going on then. So I just think it works, but I do like it better here. I agree with you. Bert.
Yeah, just somewhere on the front I'll always prefer, but this kit, it doesn't affect it. This is one of my favorite all-time kits. Just an absolute banger, and I still love this picture of Del Piero and Baggio. Baggio is still balling out there, so he leveled that game 2-2, and then we got the late one there. But good stuff. Now, no more back in time. It's time to get to business and where we're at right now, Bologna. So we'll talk about this matchup. This is what they're expected to come out with. There are obviously some guys missing. Ndoye is not going to be there, and Emil Holm will also not be available for them. Castro was having some issues and is trying to get back to full fitness as well. We will see kind of what develops and everything, but yeah, this is what they're set to go out with. Skoropski, Calabria, Miranda on the outsides, Bukama, Lukumi in the center back roles, Freuler, Abishir, and then Orsolini, who's been their guy, okay, again, as he was last season, he is this season. Odegaard, Dominguez and then Dalinga up top. This is what they're expected to go with. Both teams among the top in Serie A for possession. Juve at 58.6%, Bologna at 58.2%. Bologna is going to be focusing on their high press approach and possession oriented. So it's a very similar game plan that these coaches that play 4-2-3-1 employ. Remember Thiago Motta, what his claim to fame was when he came to us? 4-2-3-1, playing with possession, high press to win the ball back immediately after losing it. This is very much Vincenzo Italiano's way of playing. So for Juventus, it's going to be interesting to see the clash now in Tudor, who likes to, if we've all noticed, not spend a lot of time fucking around the back. It's very direct, and if we need to, we'll bomb the ball back up field and just regroup defensively. He has no problem bombing it up, trying to hit a target man. If you don't, it's fine, you regroup. It'll be interesting to see that clash between the two sides. This is what's rumored to be coming out for Juventus. Obviously, Di Gregorio, Savona, Vega, Kalulu. There were some wild shouts of Cambiaso being utilized as one of the center backs, like the left center back. Thankfully, we're not seeing that, but you see him in the lineup across the middle. Weah, Locatelli, Thuram, Cambiaso, Nico, McKennie, and Kolomuani. So, again, McKennie in that role. It's kind of one of those things that I'm not big on that particular decision. That's probably the only decision I don't like in this one. Guys, what do you think? Let's start with Sev.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on that. I think Nico and Weah on that right side could work. We haven't seen it much this year, except for like maybe a couple of little glimpses of it at end of games. But I think it could work because Weah tracks back well, where Nico doesn't have to, and Nico can focus there. Hopefully Nico can continue what he's been doing. And as long as he just doesn't stumble over himself like he was prior, I think he'll be okay up there. The McKennie and that role on the left side with a not so good Cambiaso behind him, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we might see a little bit of that Kalulu thing from 2 games ago where he's just shooting up that left flank to help out. But I think that ties into my other point is, where do you guys feel on possession in this game? Because of Italiano.
I wouldn't mind conceding on possession today, actually.
Right.
And there's a reason why, but I'll let you finish your point and then I'll touch on it.
Well, yeah, no, that was pretty much it. It was more of that, like that structurally on the pitch, like positionally where they might see that as a weakness, where if McKennie is not able to coincide with Cambiaso on that left
Alex
side.
Juve says give possession to them. Give it to them.
Yeah.
You guys feel that way?
Yeah, like, so for me, quickly, because I was just looking at our injury list, forgetting how long it is, and with the Yildiz suspension, that creates a lot of issues too. So, I mean, in terms of the starting lineup, there's really not much else they can do other than maybe taking Weston out and maybe moving him back and putting maybe Chico in that spot. Or what I was also thinking is, what if you moved Cambiaso up with Nico behind Colo, and then in Cambiaso's spot you put like Mbangula and keep Weston on the bench as a sub? Like, that's another option that I was thinking, because the thing is, I get Cambiaso, for me, I don't like him outside. Like, I know that's his natural position, but I don't like him outside in this game because he's going to have to go head to head with like Orsolini on that side, and defending right now is not his strong suit. So I would try to exploit and use his offensive ability as a 10 free roaming on that left side, and then maybe putting Mbangula on that side, or even flipping him with Weah. Put Weah on that side if you trust Weah's defensive abilities, and put Mbangula on the right side, or even Chico.
Yeah, and that's a good shout with the Orsolini playing on that side and Cambiaso's defensive. Yep. But with Kalulu behind him there, I think that's going to be okay. But the McKennie, even if we don't play McKennie there, I think McKennie needs to sit personally, because I know we're only playing one game a week, but he looks gassed early on. Last match, he actually toughed it out, went through the distance, and I was shocked that he could actually do it. But I'm fine with Weah playing on the right. If McKennie has to play for this coach in a game, put him there, but I think we want to fire back, especially through a predominant right strong side of Bologna, where they're going to be pushing from. I think you're going to want somebody that can create some havoc. McKennie's name didn't jump out at me to play in that role. So something's got to change there. There were some shouts about Locatelli dropping back in this game to not have Savona there at the right center back. I'm going to say this. I actually don't have any problem with Savona playing at the right center back role. It's the move I would have gone with. He's not comfortable on the left side. We can all see it. Right center back in a 3-man back should be more comfortable for him than a flat out center back role in a 4-man back set. So we should be okay there. But Locatelli moved back. I still question the pace, him being able to keep up. We ran into issues with Danilo for pace, because if we do push back, and when we do push back and fire back at Bologna, Tudor likes to keep the line up high in order to maintain that pressure, in order to swarm teams and create havoc. So if you try to play that way with Loca, it's not going to work if he's one of the guys back there. So some decisions have to be made. I'm actually fine with this, but I hope McKennie has a game, because that's the one doubt I really carry about that lineup going into this one. Reminder, everybody, get those likes up. I'm going to hit you with some more just information around this game, etc. We'll go through some stats, and then we're going to tackle the set the Tony and get predictions in before Storm the Barn. So key players to watch, obviously, Orsolini is going to be one of them for Bologna. Consistent threat on the wing from them, and he's been pivotal in Bologna's attack. For us, Kolomouani is going to be looked at because he's got to have a game. Like, we have to have, if we're going to succeed, whatever, he's got to be on point. It's got to work. McKennie has now put himself in a position where he's going to be one of the players to watch, because it's a bit of a risk when you have guys like Mbangula, Chico Conceição, even Vasiljacic, who I would have been fine with. Despite not playing games, all this nonsense, whatever, he's more naturally suited to that position than the guy you're about to go out there with. But again, McKennie, this is one of those times where I shit on the decision and you're supposed to deliver and prove me wrong and shut me up. I hope you do it. Okay? Now, we keep it rolling. Kefren Turam, player to watch. Because if we do concede possession, his technical ability, the ability to drive out of the midfield, just buy us a little bit of extra time in order to develop, to counter and everything, will be big. He'll be one of the players to watch as well. Head-to-head record, Juve are unbeaten in their last 25 Serie A matches against Bologna. 17 wins, 8 draws. The last 4 have been draws. For 5 consecutive draws, it would be the first sequence since 1978-1980. Okay? But do you know how far back you have to go for Bologna's last victory over Juve in league play? February 2011 for the last time Bologna beat us in Serie A. Jeez. Bologna's last Serie A home win against Juve, home win against us, November 1998. The last home victory that they've had against us. God damn it, knock on wood. Knock on wood. Okay. Set the Tony. Daniele Doveri.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
218 Serie A appearances, 4.4 yellows per game, 47 red cards, 67 PKs, and one piece of luggage with an Inter logo on it. That is Daniele Doveri, all right, everybody? So he's going to be the official for this one. On that note, before we get into Storm the Barn, it's time for the prediction challenge. We've got final score, we've got 2 tiebreakers, and we're gonna let Trimboli kick us off.
All right. I was actually even thinking back to last week. I know it wasn't on, but I almost had my prediction with the couple goals. So I know it's a different game. We'll have to see. So I think we get it done today. I think we're getting the 3 points. I think we give ourselves a little bit of a buffer over Bologna here in the standings. I'm going to go 2-1 Juve. We will concede a goal. I'm going to go 2-1 Juve. I'm going to go with goal scorers. I'm going to go Nico, and I'm going to go Kolo Muani. I think that both those guys specifically, even going back to last week, played really well. I don't know what it is about the month of April and May for Nico Gonzalez, but it seems like it's like end of the season. He's like trying to get some more, maybe get a little bit of a raise towards the end and remember the good performances he puts in. So he's been playing pretty well in the last couple of months. So I'm going to say those guys get the 2 goals for us today. And I'm going to say my second tiebreaker, I'm going to go 1 goal each half. So goal in the first half, goal in the second half.
All right. Severino, you're up.
Ooh. It's so funny. Every time I think of that ref, that suitcase with the Inter logo. He will forever be remembered like with that and tied to that.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel good about this game too, but I think it's going to be more of a high-flying scoring game. I'm going to go 3-2 Juve.
Oof.
Ooh,
yeah. Nice. I just think that both teams, I'm still on the fence of this possession thing. And I think that's going to deter where I feel with the scoreline, and I just think that they're going to be fighting for possession the whole game. I'm going to go with a 3-2 with definitely a Thuram goal. I just feel a Thuram goal today. I don't know why. I feel it. And it'll be off of a set piece. And I need a tiebreaker, right? Let's
One
see.
more tiebreaker.
God, I'm going to go with 2 yellow cards each.
Holy smokes, okay.
4 total. That's right around the average. So
2
And
yellows
you want to know why?
each.
Because we have so many guys who are in contention.
So we got to also remind everybody that you've got Thuram,
Right.
Cambiaso, Savona, and Timothy Weah all at risk for Lazio. If they pick up a yellow in this match, they will miss that game. And that's another reason, I missed it on the thing, but that's another reason Kefren Thuram is a player to watch, because he's got to be in that lineup for Lazio, and he's got to have a clean one today. Daniele Dovari, he might be getting the preliminary day, okay, because yellows might fly. He's got about 5, just shy of a 5 average. We'll see. My prediction is this. I think you've got 2 teams that both know what's at stake, that I don't know if they go all out and guns blaze. I don't really expect that type of game. I expect a very tight, kind of methodical approach from both managers, albeit in different ways that they want to get the job done. I see this game ending 1-1. I think it's going to be a 1-1 stalemate, and we're going to move on and keep the race kind of heading down the wire. I got to say, 1-1 is what I'm feeling. If I'm going to pick a goal scorer out of Juve's lineup, Nico Gonzalez had a massive month of May last season, bagging, 6 or 7 goals. So I'm going to say Nico gets another one in this one. So I'll say he's Juve's goal scorer. And shocker, but I'll say we concede on a set piece. Okay, so I think if we're going to maybe call it back post, let's go with the odds. I'll play the odds today and say that Nico's our goal scorer, but back post goals where we concede. Yeah, 1-1 draw. And to be honest, would you take the 1-1 draw, fellas? Would you be okay? Would you be happy with that? Moving on. Then Lazio?
Yeah, I mean,
beggars can't be choosy, right?
Yeah. Based on where everybody's at, I think you kind of you kind of would just have to take it and just move on to next week, right?
So Lazio obviously getting the job done today. They leapfrogged us by 1 point. They're at 63 now through 35 games. We're at 62 through 34. We talked about the remaining schedule for Juventus after Bologna. It's Lazio. Then you have Udinese and Venezia. If we take 1 point here, I think you can get the job done against Lazio. Lazio is not a team that I'd probably say I'm more concerned with Bologna than I am Lazio. So if we take 1 point out of here, Lazio, Udinese, Venezia, I'm actually okay with that and absolutely fine with the 1 point here. We cannot lose this match. Can't lose it. Can't lose it.
I'm definitely more worried today than I will be next week.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
Agreed.
I think Lazio is a much more winnable game. And I think, is there a possibility of getting Gatti back next week?
So that was what he was in the news for again today, is like they're talking about the potential is there for him to return against Lazio. If I had to take a guess, he was also supposed to be back for Monza, which is now coming past. So I don't think they're actually aware. And if I had to guess, it's one of the later games. It's either one of the last two, Udinese or Venezia, if I had to guess. But yeah, you just basically can't lose today, lads. Can't lose today. So let's see how it goes down. Yes, there will be a live watch along for that game. All right. Hope to see you all there with me. We're not done though. We got Storm the Barn. Okay. And we're going to tackle that right now. Let's get into it. Alex Juve's got the first one on deck for us. Reminder, everybody, get those likes up. All right. Thoughts on the rumors that McKinney had something to do with the breakup of Luis and Alicia? Is that a legit rumor? Literally never even heard that. Is that legit? I mean, nobody's safe with Big Mac, you know, whether you're a woman, a woman, cheeseburger, pizza, it doesn't matter. Nothing and nobody is safe around Big Mac, okay? Holy.
He douses himself in ranch dressing and ties all the
I was just going to say, I guess he clearly likes that ranch sauce. Jesus.
I don't know if that's is that a legit rumor? I've literally never.
Is that why he's getting extended, and is that why Louise is on the way out? It sounds maybe there's more to this than we think. I don't know, man.
Maybe they wanted Matt to like really push Louise out so that they could finalize something in the summer, and they're like, you know what, hey
guys,
send
we
Mac
didn't
in
really
there.
touch on that. Do you guys see Louise in this game making a dent?
I don't even know what to think with the guy anymore. I've had the vibes for a while. I haven't held back. I've said all along, I get vibes he doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
And I believe
especially after his road rage tyrant thing that he went through this week with Instagram.
Yeah, he had to really defend the fact he defended it so hard over really nothing. It was just like are you here to play or to post pictures? And then it was like just blame game and finger pointing and all this. And some were like, well, he's got a point. I'm like, he's got 1 point and missed like 7 others.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the pitch does the talking, and it hasn't done the talking for him, man. I don't know. But if you want to talk like that, the next time you do get a set of minutes, you better do some, because it's been a whole lot of nothing when you're in there.
Yeah.
So
put in the ship and stay quiet. That's it.
Adam, have you heard that Apple releases a new product, and it is a Swedish footballer that's behind the product? It's going to be called Ibra. This one I don't need to think about. That's
Yellow,
straight red. Straight red. Straight. Straight.
Adam, brother, you're reaching now, brother. You're reaching.
He's trying.
Straight. You're gone. Out. Adam.
The one last week with the manual Locatelli was actually kind of clever.
That one was okay. That one was probably his best one.
That was okay. That was.
This one is that's straight red, brother. Straight red.
Bad jokes.
But I enjoy it. Oof. I still enjoy it. Oh, DJ Cammy V wasted no time. Three straight reds. Gone. Here's a fun one for you. Name your top 3 Serie A sides you would like to be in transfer business with. in terms of player allure, reliability, and which clubs would you distance Juve from? Actually, I really like this question. So
I think the distant one is easy. Like, it would probably be unanimous. Like, Atalanta's number one for sure. Like,
Fiorentina.
stay far away. Fiorentina.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the third, I'm sure would be like mixed match between the three of us. But I think for me, the third one, I'd probably say Napoli. I don't know why. Like, just because I just don't like them. I don't know.
I mean, that would be
my
the guy's putting in Juve clauses on sale prices.
Yeah.
So why would we even bother? Those three are fine. So 3 that we want to be in business with.
That's actually the harder one for me.
I'm going to put a club that you probably won't bank on, but it's because he's still one of the old schoolers, and dealing with him makes a lot of sense because he sees things very realistic, and that's Galliani of Monza. So I would have Monza in there, and they do actually get young talent in there. So if we are trying to pluck some young talent there, Monza would be on the radar.
Maybe
Aldo says Parma. Parma's an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like young talent like throughout the league and like clubs that actually like produce some pretty good young talent. Like Udinese might be in there, especially with Luca, and
maybe.
Previously Samardzic was there. They've had some
Monza and Parma. I'm cool with, and I think those would be making some sense. I'm trying to think of another.
I might throw in Como in there now, especially if they stick up, because they've got some good young players.
Como would be a very, very good one that you want to get, especially with what Fabregas is doing in terms of how he wants to play and how what he's getting out of the players. Como could definitely be in the mix. So those are 3 I'm actually good with.
Udinese brought up Udogi, right? Like, he came up through them.
Yeah. Udinese is an interesting one.
Yeah, Udogi. There's another one good show.
Yeah.
Sassuolo's a good shout by Aldo. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Screw Sassuolo. Bastards are coming back. Fucking annoying. Am I the only one who noticed that all our wingbacks, not just Cambiasso, quality dropped off once Nico got precedence over Chico and Imbangula? I don't think that ties to Cambiasso because Nico still wasn't back when Cambiasso started struggling. Weah, I'm trying to think if they've all struggled. Like, I don't think Weah's really struggled more so than McKennie's been getting the call since we've switched setups and Tudor came in.
Yeah, but Cambiasso played well with the Italy team in the 3-5-2.
I don't really think it's tied to Nico per se. It'll be, I guess we will have to monitor now if that's how he feels, whatnot. I have no stats backing it. I have no games matched for it to like actually look at this, but yeah, I'd have to see. I don't think it's actually, my thought would be that's not tied to Nico being up there, that these guys are struggling or not really doing much. McKennie's looked gassed as fuck for me. Weah probably should have been getting a few more goals there to really gauge or judge anything. I don't know. Chico is, I would definitely have started him. He would have gotten one start in this last bunch. That's on Tudor, man. And maybe McKennie is too big of a safety net, too much of a safety net. It's like a fucking coach's security blanket, this motherfucker, because he's gassed and whatever, and they still just will not take him out of the lineup. And I hope he doesn't look gassed 20, 30 minutes in, because we need him to have a game here. No matter the money, which 3 superstars would you get into our squad today to be competitive, and at what positions? Lamine Yamal, like now.
First by far.
Like now. That was ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous, that performance, man. It's absurd. Lamine Yamal's the first pick easily. I have no words for what that guy did.
Yeah, no,
in that game at that
phenomenal.
stage, whatever, at that age, like, it's crazy. Easy first pick. Outside of that, okay.
I want to go Bellingham.
Really?
Yeah. For me, I'd go in the middle. I'd go Bellingham. Like if we're talking like superstar, because I have like two ways of looking at this. Like I have like a realistic like 3 that I'd look at, and then I have like no, like not realistic, just whoever you want. Like so, Yamal up top for sure. Bellingham in the middle. If I was going realistic, I'd actually go to Tonali. Because if we had the money, I would say Tonali, because I just think he's a difference maker at both ends. Like he can play defensively, but also offensively, what he's doing at Newcastle this year is ridiculous. And then for the back, I just saw him come up, and I was thinking, especially because we do need wing backs. Like I was thinking a CB, but if we're going wing backs, I'd go Alphonso Davies. But the problem
you
is
took
he's
my
hurt.
guy. That's who I was thinking. I
He's
like
also
him as a
injured,
fullback.
so it doesn't.
Give me
really help.
Yamal. Give me Barella or Tonali, and give me, man, one guy's got to come from the back for center back, and then I start thinking about some names, but we'd have to go with the center back.
Yeah.
Well, we
I
already
like
have a
the-
superstar center back. You want to have
That's
two
true.
superstar center backs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't
Hell
hurt.
yeah.
I like
A lot of shouts for
Saliba.
Bastoni.
I like
guess.
Saliba at
that
Arsenal.
guy.
I take him.
I don't like that.
He's not
guy.
a superstar, but I like Saliba.
Saliba?
Baston? Yeah.
Or I say fuck it and just go Yamal, Rafinha, and Tonali.
Just go all offense. Yeah.
You know what? We might concede a couple, but we're
Zorba.
bagging fucking 7, so it's all good. I like that though.
Yeah,
Good
that was
one.
a good one.
Fun one. After his words, I would start Luis and tell him show up or shut up. I get it. I get
We
it.
said that, yeah.
Risky business in this top 4 massive clash though, right? Like, I guess that comes down to your confidence level. So I'll flip the question back at you, Mitch, and you two. Let's say we did that. What's your confidence that he shows up or puts up? I'm at like a 5. It's 50-50.
Yeah. I don't think
Is it
I would say
50-50
that.
or is it less than that because of what we've seen when he has gotten minutes, which isn't a lot?
Yeah. No, I think I would still say 50-50. I think there's potential or a chance for him to actually show up and play well, but at the same time, if he just does more of the same of what we've seen, it's mediocre. It's not flashy. It's nothing crazy. So I would say it's about 50-50.
Yeah.
In a massive top 4 clash, a guy that's barely played, I don't even think he's hit 500 minutes this season. I don't even know if he's hit 300 minutes this season. You can't play him. And even after his words or whatever, like, it's just like,
Well, regardless of the words, but I think as a
Not
tactical
start
thing,
anyways.
I don't think Tudor wants to break up that duo up front. I mean, not up front, in the middle, with Loka and Thuram. I think that's
well,
where it
no,
is.
but the shout is instead of McKennie, he plays advanced. That's what the shout
Yeah.
is for Luis.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, like,
He is good on the ball. I will say this. He's very good on the ball.
I got no confidence in him playing even in the advance. That was one of the things before he went into this tailspin of not seeing him is where's his best spot?
Yeah.
Was it higher up? Was it further back where he could control, see more of the field, spread the ball out, spray it around? I don't know. And now, yeah, I don't know. I don't have the
with
confidence
Brazil-
in it. You can't start him
With
in
Brazil
this game,
and where was he
Aston Villa.
last year? Where did he play? Was he as like a Locatelli role, like a regista, or
Who? What?
Luis?
What about him? What was the
Where did he
question?
play with the Brazil team? I was asking.
Oh, yeah,
Like in
he
what
plays
role?
in the heart of their 3 in the middle. And they
In the heart
kind
of
of
the three,
advance the other 2.
Right in the middle, yeah.
Sorry, I was reading this next one, getting ready for the next Storm the Barn here. Who's the one player you have no clue why you love, but for some reason you do? For me, it's Harry Maguire, and I've been the biggest supporter since the World Cup 2018. This is going to be a yellow, Not a straight red, okay? But you're on warning, Forza Juve. Harry Maguire? Oh, okay. It's all good, but just a yellow. Okay. Who's the one player? We got a red out there from I'm gonna give a yellow there. Who's the one player you love and you have no idea why? Look at all the shouts for red. I'm gonna go yellow. Because he said he has no idea why. He saved himself with I have no clue why, but he loves Harry Maguire. Who's that one player you have no idea why, but you just love? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Are we talking about current players, obviously, right?
It could have been someone from the past too. No idea why. You just love a player, but you do. I don't know. I
might have to take the fifth on this one for obvious reasons.
Oh, I know where you'd go.
See, this is the thing that gets me because Mitch claims Delivio for some reason, but I know why I loved Delivio. Like, I know why I love players, right? It's not like I have no clue. Like, Torricelli, I know why I loved Torricelli.
It's tough. I'm trying to think of players outside of Juve that like even play, like, let's say currently, that I'm like, you know what, I don't mind that guy. I kind of like that guy, but there's always like some kind of like hidden little reason behind it, you know? I'm trying to think like for example, like a Bellingham, like I like that guy because he's a really good player. Like I think he's got a lot of quality. Right. And just
but if I'm thinking about this question, it should be like guys that are like either get hit a lot, like his is Harry Maguire. It's like somebody that's like off the cuff, like not big names or anything, but like a guy that you just like loved and you're like, I probably shouldn't, like he's not that great, whatever, but I just loved him. I don't know. I'm trying to think here. If I probably had to go that route, it would probably be somebody from one of the older Azzurri squads. Because there were always some players that I'm like, what the hell is he doing with it? I got one. I don't know why I like this motherfucker, but Simone Perotta. I always liked that guy.
That's a good one.
Played for Roma. Perotta. He was part of the 06 World Cup squad. I'm like, this guy is such a mess. He's not the most coordinated, but he's got pace, but he's not good on the ball. But Perotta was one I still, I loved the guy. And I was like, why the hell do I love this guy? Why do I love this player? He's one for me, for sure. For sure. But that's kind of how I see that question. Grosso is another one. Padoin could be one. You know, why the hell do I love this guy? Fun question, though. And maybe it might be one you guys got to think about, and then it'll come to you. This is probably one that'll come to you randomly as you're sitting there man.
I do have one if we're going back a bit, actually, and it's pretty funny. And I get why people would have liked the player at the time, but Fernando Torres was always one that I was like, I don't know, he's Spanish international, but 9, he had glimpses, and I'm like, I don't know why I like this guy, but he was a striker that I watched growing up, and I was like,
you know, one guy that faded fast that I loved to watch play, but it was Pato. Remember Pato when he hit with Milan and stuff? I was like, man, this guy is crazy. What a drop.
Yeah. No kidding.
If Juve gets Conte as the next coach, will we change the entire team again to what he wants? No. There would be probably a few pickups, but honestly, I don't think you'll see that big of a change or turnover this summer. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I would hope that they learned their lesson. That was my one big problem with the Motta thing, is how much leash we gave, how much we followed that lead. And that's a big one on Giuntoli, who, by the way, future is very much uncertain and up in the air. For shits and giggles, you got to put a wager on it, okay? Is Giuntoli staying through the summer, or is he gone? What's your personal belief? Not what you want to happen or what you think should, but what do you think the club is going to do with Giuntoli? Keep or say goodbye to? Fellas?
I think it depends on top four. I think it depends on top four. If they finish 5th and they're in Europa League, then I think that it's more leaning towards they'll let him go, because they're going to say you met none of the objectives this year. Like if top 4 was this bare minimum objective, which thank God we haven't really been hammering home the last few weeks, because it just seemed like all year it was top 4. It's got to be top 4, top 4. If he doesn't get top 4, then he's out. If they get top 4, then I think he stays. And that's just what I think the club will do. It's not necessarily like what I would do.
Sev, what do you think?
I think they give him another summer, because he's only had the one. I think they give him another summer to see, even if they don't make top 4. I just, for some reason, I think they want to give him, because I don't think they want to deal with the backlash of, you might get the opposite people saying, hey, well, he only had one summer mercado to get the players. Most of the time they usually give guys 2 or 3. So I'm going to say, do I want him to stay? That's a different question. But if I'm betting, I think he stays.
I don't believe top 4 has anything to do with it, and I think he's staying. But I will tell you that the rumor on the street is, outside of mainstream media and everything, is that it's decided that he's going to be gone and cut. I personally don't believe it. I think he will stay. And honestly, my personal decision would be to still continue one more summer at least. And one more coach. This next coaching call will be big for Giuntoli. Keep it rolling. If we fail to get all 3, is top 4 over? Well, it's never over. And it's not completely done and dusted if we don't get the 3 here, but it's not good whatsoever if we fail to get the win here. Like we said earlier in talking about this match, like, you absolutely cannot lose. Absolutely 1000% cannot lose this game if you're Juve. So not over and dusted, but
right now, just a quick score update. Atalanta 3, Monza 0. So like they're putting 6 points up on us right now just from today. So that's tough too for us.
Yeah, those mutts. Would you rather get Osimhen or Mastantuono and Jonathan David? Oh my God, I would much rather take Mastantuono and Jonathan David. A combination?
Yeah, I think
what? So. Forget Osimhen.
Yeah,
forget that
agree.
guy. Forget that. I don't even want him, period. I'll be quite honest. Like, I don't even want Osimhen, period.
I've always been like, no. When it comes to his name, I've never wanted him personally.
Me neither.
Yeah. Pino, where's everyone staying? And funny enough, we haven't even figured it out. we gotta get on that.
Right now, nowhere.
Yeah, right now, right outside the stadium. Who gets the day at Bologna? Yeah, you know what? You're right, Mitch. Let's get back to this here. Let's take a look at these mutts.
Oh, I know where
I'm
going.
And who's gonna get? Well, I tell you what. Okay. I like the guy. I made shouts that Juve should approach for him, should try to bring him back. He was one of our products. But today, you're going to get the Te or Solini, because we can't have this guy wreaking havoc or creating any type of damage for us. He's going to be massive for them, and he is pivotal for them. Or Solini gets my preliminary Te. Sev, who are you giving your preliminary Te to?
Yeah, you stole my thunder a little bit with Orsolini, just because he's a good winger. Like, I'm not going to take anything away from him, but fuck that guy. I just don't like him. But I'm going to do an honorable mention to Calabria, bro. Fuck him. Can't stand that guy.
Oh, I like it.
Overrated. Calabria.
Overrated. All those years with Milan. Give me a break.
There you go. There you go. Trim, you're up.
So I have a couple ways I can go with this one, but for the choice, I'm gonna go with Bukami and Lukemi or whatever, the center back duo. To both of them. We need some goals, so we need our boy Kolo to get behind those two and bag some goals. So, but I was also gonna go with Skorupski, because he's played well at times, and he almost looks like prime Buffon. So I hope he doesn't pull that shit out today. So we'll see.
You go. There you go. We got another one. How much would you pay for Mastantuono? I don't know if it's true. I heard rumors that there's a 45 million release on him. And the club, River Plate's got to renegotiate, get some type of contract there. extension or whatever to wipe that clean. So essentially renew him to wipe that clean in order to get into like a bidding situation for all these big clubs that want the kid. But I heard, and I haven't confirmed, but I heard that there's a 45 million clause on him right now as it stands. So, again, we'll see. How much would I pay for him? Well, that's another story. If we had the luxury to chase a wonder kid, do we have that luxury right now? If I'm saying that we should maybe splash on Osimhen or Tonali at 70 to 80 million because we need a bit of work. Yeah, I don't know. But it's going to be interesting. You guys, big one today. Predictions are in. Trim's going 2-1. Sev's got a barn burner. He might have been hung up on the May 10th, 1998 one we discussed. Okay, yeah. That was 3-2 with the Inzaghi hat trick. I got 1-1 stalemate. Let's see what happens. We're going to reconvene here 20 minutes before kickoff. All right. And then I'll bring you the live watch along. I'm not nervous, though, for some reason. Like, I am nervous. Like, I feel like, I don't know. Bro, maybe because of the way the season's gone, not knowing what to expect from Juventus, I don't know.
We're good. We're in the clear. I spoke to my cousin. He's good. He's going to be, he said he's going to ease off a little bit.
You tell your cousin, Italiano.
Hey, if he
I'm
wants,
not convinced.
If he wants to grow some hair, tell him I got the red light therapy for him. You know, he can come to my place and we can turn the light on and can help. I can give him some help. You know.
Yeah, Trim's been living across from Kenny Rogers' Chicken Shack there lately. He's got this red light therapy. It's good stuff. All behind the scenes stuff that you'll get in the members chat. Obviously, by the way, big shout out to all the AJC Army members. Another way you could support the cast too. There's super chat enabled, a ton of stuff. We appreciate all the support. Man, I owe all of you a massive apology because it completely slipped my mind that we never released the frickin' giveaway that we were supposed to like weeks ago, because I was like, oh yeah, we got to decide the winner. And then I'm like, oh my God, I never actually released the giveaway. So tomorrow, the giveaway, the next 2 double kick giveaway will be set up. And yes, in about a couple weeks time, we're going to give away both live on a show, and they both come with one of the displays from our friends at Display Pro. Okay, these are the displays that they use, the ones behind me. So super clean. We're gonna give away one of the brand new home ones, and then the other was I believe it's a 2015 pink kit. Okay, so those are the 2 kits with the sands. That's my bad. And you know what? Yellow. So no straight red because somebody's got a host, okay? So I kind of have that one, okay? So just a yellow. Yellow to Berto. But you guys, whatever you do, okay? Whatever you do for pregame rituals, whatever, it's a big one today. And you know what? I'm going with this bad boy we talked about today. This is what I'm going to rock for the watch along. We're going to go back. We're going to bring only positive vibes from 97, 98. But the last one, this kit, we had a little YouTube short that came out over Del Piero's final moment for Juventus with the 2011-12 away kit, bagging the final goal he scored for Juventus against Atalanta and then the farewell. And this, of course, the kit. I said rate this kit. What's your rating out of 10 on this kit, boys?
First of all, I saw someone put that it's like the worst kit that we've ever had. That was outlandish. I was like, no, not a chance. But for me, it's a solid, I would say, it's not one of like my all-timers, but I would say 7.5. I think it was pretty solid.
7.5. Sev,
yeah.
What's your score?
That's a great 8 for me. I actually wore it when I met Pirlo a few weeks ago, when we did that footage. Yeah. Because I actually have Pirlo on it. I love that kit. That's an 8 for me, easy.
I never liked it, ever.
Really? I love it.
But the memories will boost up. It's a 6.5 for me. 6 to 6.5 for me.
Okay. All right.
6.5 for me. It's nowhere near the best pink kit we've ever had. And it's up to 2 for the best pink kits ever. Okay?
Oh, which one are you thinking?
And one of them is the 97-98 that I think they only ever wore once.
Oh,
the
yes. Okay.
Juventus. Sev, Juventus. Okay? This guy gets a kit.
I was so mad.
He got so fired up. Where is this damn?
You gotta find it. You gotta find it now. That was hilarious. Well, it's that one and the 15-16 are the 2 best.
Well, I was so relieved once Berto was like,
that was
dumbass.
Oh man,
that
was hilarious. It was so good, man.
Okay, you guys, if you could tell, I don't know if it'll. So yeah, right there on the crest,
you can see it.
Yeah.
Juventus. So Sev picks himself up a kit and he just loses it because he's like, "Are you kidding me?" And he sends us a pic of it and he just says, "They spell Juventus wrong." Not realizing it's the 100th anniversary kit, but this is one of the best pink kits. And then, of course, the 2015-16.
That's a fire kit.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 best pink kits we ever had. But that story was sad. Man, I was in stitches. This guy is losing his mind, just firing away at the seller like, what is this garbage? Like, what? And I'm like, are you serious, man? Like, dude, I was dying.
Tail
great
tail
stuff.
between the legs when I had to respond back and be like, sorry, that was meant for somebody else. Sorry, butt dial.
Oh man, I was dying. I was in tears there. The other one, that 04 pink kit.
Yes.
That one gets higher ratings than I've ever given it, but people love that. But for me, it was like, it reminded me of one of my Nona's tablecloths.
That's the fast web one, right, Berto?
Fast web one. Yeah.
The fast web one,
Yeah. But anyways, Kit Talk ends here. Guys, we got to get ready for the match. You know what to do. Do your pregame ritual. We're going to reconvene 20 minutes before kickoff. Till then, fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. We'll see you all real soon. Ciao, ciao.